Hello guys, this is Stevie from Hoopendale. Today I'll be showing you my Fluffal deck profile. This is a deck I kind of came back to after a hiatus from high school. I had originally Black Wings, and then this is the deck I came back with. And with the new Toon Chaos support coming out, I thought today would be a perfect day to, before the update, get my original deck profile. Alright, so let's start. So first off, we're gonna go 3 Fluffal Dog, basically your Stratos of the deck. If it's special or normal summoned, you get an Engine Sabers or a Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. I usually like to get Sabers or Wings, depending if I have a toy vendor out, or even a bear to get my toy vendors set. Next we got Fluffal Penguin. Fluffal Penguin, when it's normal, you can special summon another Fluffal monster from your deck, from your hand to the field. And if it's future summon to get a Frightful monster, you could draw 2 cards and discard 1. This is one of the cards you really want to poly with, because you get those +1 out of it. And if you do draw wings, you could send it to the graveyard so you could do your wing play. Next we got Fluffal Bear. I run 2 of them. I was kind of debating 2 or 3, but 2 seems fine. But what this card does is you can send it from your hand to your graveyard, and you could set a toy vendor down. And if you don't have a toy vendor in your first hand, and if you have a bear, you could easily get your toy vendor play off. Or if you don't have any polys, you could just normal summon and tribute them to get a poly to your hand. But yeah, I like bear. Next we got Fluffal Wings. Fluffal Wings is one of the cards you really want in the graveyard. If you have it in your hand, you need to get some way to put it in the graveyard, whether it's poly, toy vendor, or a discard effect. So what he does is you could send him and another Fluffal monster to the banish zone to draw 1, and then you could get the toy vendor. You could send your toy vendor to the graveyard, and if you do, you could draw 1 card. So this card by itself could give you a bunch of pluses. So you do wings, send it to the banish. Send your toy vendor, get the effect of toy vendor to look for a Fluffal monster that you need, and then you could draw an extra card. So this card, because I think I might bump it at 3, but right now I'm just finicky with my deck. Right now it's kind of like not really much space, but see what happens. A Fluffal Cat, when I just run 1, it's kind of cloggy, but if you fusion summon using this monster, you get the poly back. So you fusion summon into, let's say, Tiger, you get the poly back. You get fusion summon after Tiger pops the field. You can get Sabertooth, get Tiger back, and try to go for, or with Kraken, you could do an OTK play with him, because with Sabertooth you could bring back Kraken, and Kraken could attack twice. So yeah, Cat's pretty good. Sheep. Sheep is pretty good for a gym. For every gym chain, if you want to special summon itself, then bounce back the card. But I think I might run into. I'm also finicky with him, but it's a pretty good guard to extend plays. Owl. We got Fluffal Owl. Fluffal Owl is a good extender because he could pay when he's normal special summon. He could get a poly, and you could pay 500 to fusion summon. So he's like 2 polys in 1, and he's kind of cloggy, but sometimes he comes in clutch, so he could help with the OTK. Then I run the 1 Gym Sabers and the 3 Chain. Lately, for some reason, I've been getting 2 chains in my hand, and it's kind of cloggy because you can only use the effective chain once per turn. Sabers, you really just need 1 because he reoccurs by stacking your deck with 1 card. And Edgem Chains, he kind of helps getting your Frightful fusion, so you get OTK if nothing's on the board for your opponent. So next we got 3 Effect Veilers and 1 Phantasma. Fantastical, my bad. So this is hand traps I run right now. Right now I'm still waiting for my ashes to come in and my other hand traps, but Effect Veiler is pretty decent. Con stops your opponent from activating effects, and Phantasma for the link decks. The the people I've been playing so far have do a lot of links, so this guy sometimes comes in handy. I need to get more of him, but so far it works pretty well. So, and those are the monsters. Pretty hefty monster amount. Now time for the spells. So one of your main spell cards. 3 toy vendors. Toy vendors, you could discard one. Then to draw one, if it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon instantly. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can look for Edgem Sabers or a Fluffal monster. So this card's really, it's a high risk, high reward, because you can discard and not get anything, and maybe get rid of one of your pieces that you need, like a poly or something. So toy vendor, you cannot run less than 3. You gotta run 3. You get rid of these real quick. So next we got Fright for Patchwork. This card is one of the best spell cards also next to Toy Vendor. He gets a Edge Imp and a Poly from your deck to your hand, so you can instantly get a Poly. And then off Edge Imp Chains effect, you could get another Fright for Patchwork for next turn if you don't OTK. So we got 3 Polys. It's a fusion deck. No, so you gotta need 3 Polys. There's nothing more to say about that. You need the Polys. Next we run 3 Super Polys. Super Poly is great. It could break boards instantly depending on what deck you play. And you can even use it to poly yourself into Fright for monsters if you really don't have polys anymore. But usually it's to break boards and go to one of your super poly targets like Star Venom or Mud Dragon. Next we got Foolish Burial Goods. I run 2 of them. I have the 3rd one, but it's kind of cloggy right now, or it ends up being dead. But with these cards, you just really want to send your toy vendor so you get that insta search, and it's pretty good. So when you need it, it is good. I run a Fright for Fusions. Usually, you want to get rid of the opponent's board before you activate this card, because you could go for the wolf and just go for OTK. What it does is you banish cards from your field or graveyard, and you could fusion summon a Fright for monster. And usually with that you use either 3 materials from your grave or 4, so you go for the OTK with the wolf. Fright for Factory. Fright for Factory is just there if the Fright for Fusion play is dead and you don't really have a chance. You could just use this, banish one of your polys to fusion summon, and then you could try to attack. And then if you have a fusion Fright for Fusion, you could add it back to your hand. So it's decent. It has its conditions. Around the Insta Fusion, right now I just have 1 target. I'm kind of working on it, but so far, when it's useful, it's useful. It's been useful so far, so I like it. And then some extenders I have is Monster Reborn, just to extend plays, revive a monster if I need to, and Mind Control, so I can take one of the opponents either to link it or use it as a material. All right, and that's the main deck. So I don't run any traps, so it's more of an OTK deck. So you definitely want to go second, especially with the extra deck monsters we have. So let's go with it. So the first one we have is 2 Sabertooths. He's a Monster Reborn for Fright River monsters. He uses 3 or more materials. He becomes kind of invincible to mostly all card effects, but just can't really be destroyed. But you really want him to revive Kraken and try to go for an OTK from there. So next we got Kraken, 2 Krakens. Kraken usually destroys monsters when he's first fusion summoned, and he could attack twice if you don't use the effect, and he could go back to defense. So this is the one you make the most. So you could either get a Sabertooth out or try to make a rank 8. So he's pretty good. I like him a lot. This is my favorite monster in the deck. Fright for Tiger. Most people tend to Veiler or hand trap him the most because he could get rid of an entire board and get OTK'd by him. What he does is, depending on how many materials you use, you can destroy the amount. So let's say I use 4 materials too. That means I can destroy four things on the board. So he clears the board. So you try to bait out the first tiger for an effect Veiler or a trap or anything, and then try to bust out the other tigers so you could clear their whole board. But yeah, tiger's my favorite, and a lot of people hate him. So pretty good. We got Nightmare here. Nightmare is kind of conditional, but if you could pull him off late game when all your Fluffals are on the grave and Frifers, then he is phenomenal. I have got him up to around 56,000, and since most of my Frifers were also in the grave, he also had many negations for himself to protect himself. So if you get him late game, he's pretty decent. Early game, not so much, because you don't really get much. But if you're able to pull off an attack, then you should be able to fix your graveyard even more. So we got Sheep, Fright for Sheep. Usually my my insta fusion target. So when he's destroyed by battle card effect, he come back and injure more. It's pretty decent. I don't go into him often. I really just have him there for the insta fusion target. But he's a nice stock card if you need it. So the last of the Fright Furs I have is Fright for Wolf. Fright for Wolf, you only make them when you have the guaranteed OTK. So usually you use them with Fright for Fusion, and you attack like 3 times, or if you have like 3 times, you have another Fright for with you. But usually you attack with him like 4 times, and that'll be game for him. So you only use him for OTK. So alright, so for some super poly targets, we got Star Venom and Mud Dragon. I had a Rocket duel versus Rockets, and he came out clutch because all of them are dark, so he came out clutch. And then Mud Dragon actually got I had a light in my hand, and I forgot the name of the card. A ranked 8 that negates everything and becomes the material for it. He came out clutch because he actually fulfilled the requirements to make him. So I used my Fluffal Wings and his XYZ monster to make him. So this card came pretty clutch. So that was all the fusion. Now to make my XYZ. I only have 2 right now. Right now I have Lancelot and number 68. Number 68 is pretty good because he locks out. You can't special summon monsters from the graveyard, and Lancelot is an Omni negate. So usually when I'm trying to make, if you have to go first, I would try to make these 2. It kind of kills a lot of decks, so you can't special summon and then you have the Omni negate. But if you go first, try to make these 2. That's really all I could say, because Fluffals is not a going first deck at all. They're going second. And then for my 2, I have 2 links. So I got Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep's pretty good to extend plays to revive a fusion. I mean a low 4 lower monster. Yeah, pretty good extender. Pretty expensive for the rare, but I understand why, because it's pretty good. So, and this is a new card from the Eternity Code, but I've been trying it. It's been alright. It's Proxy F Magician. What he does is, during your main phase, you can future summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters on the field as fusion material. If a fusion monster is fusion summoned to a zone, discard points. So you could special summon 1 monster with 1,000 or less attack from your hand. You could use the effect of Proxy F Magician. So you usually want to have some monsters. So you have Sabers in the grave. You want to revive them, so you could use his effect. and then you could special summon, let's say, a cat or a bear, so you can get more fusion plays out there. But he's been alright. You kind of want to link him first, get the 1000 out, and then link him off, so you could get cross sheep, and then get the effective cross sheep. So yeah, thank you guys. That's been my Fluffal deck. Please like and subscribe. We're a new channel. We're trying to make this thing grow, and we're just starting out, so forgive us for the quality. But thank you.